Hello, my name is Catherine Buchanan, and I'm in section 9, and today we're going to talk about muscles. So the first muscle we're going to talk about is the masseter, which is used to elevate the mandible and closes the mouth. So we're going to form that. Its origin is the zygomatic arch, and its insertion is the lateral surface of the mandible. So on the skeleton, it'll look like a little bit like this. So it'll attach like that. And then the next muscle we're talking about is the triceps brachii. Its origin is the glenoid fossa, the proximal posterior surface of the humerus, and the distal 2/3 of the posterior surface of the humerus. So it'll attach like this, and then inserts on the olecranon process of the ulna. So then it'll attach down here. No, sorry, this one. The next one is the biceps brachii. Its origin is the short head origin is the coracoid process of the scapula, and then the long head origin is the supraglenoid tubercle. So it will look like this. It'll attach like that. And then the insertion point is the radial tuberosity. So it will attach right here. The brachioradialis is the next one. Its origin is the lateral ridge of the distal humerus, and the insertion is the lateral surface of the distal radius. So that will look like something like this. So it will attach on the lateral side of the humerus, right here, and then on the distal radius. So it'll attach closer to where the thumb is. The rectus femoris is the next one we're going to be talking about. Its origin point is the anterior inferior iliac spine. So to form that, it will look something like this. So it attaches right here, and then the insertion point, the insertion point is just a little bit lower than the patella. So it'll insert this one. It'll look like this with its insertion point being under the patella, like so. The next muscle is the semimembranosus. So that will look like, let's use this one again. So its origin is the ischial tuberosity, and then the insertion is the posterior surface of the medial tibial condyle. So it'll attach right here, and then insert right here, a little bit straighter than that. So it will look like that, attaching like right here. The next muscle is the biceps femoris muscle, and that one will look like here. Its insertion point, the insertion point of the long head is the ischial tuberosity, and then the short head is the linea aspera of the femur, and the lateral supracondylar line of the femur. So it will have an insertion like an origin, sorry. Like this. And then the insertion point is the head of the fibia on the lateral side. So it'll insert down here and then up here. The next muscle is the soleus, and it is on the back right here. So its insertion point is the fibula on the medial border. Oh, sorry, the origin is the fibula on the medial border, and the insertion is the tibia, the end of the tibia, and then the calcaneus. So it will look like this. look like that. And then the next muscle is the gastrocnemius. Its origin is the medial and lateral condyles of the femur. So it will attach on these 2 points, the femur, and then it will insert on the posterior calcaneus, like this. So it'll look like that. And then the last muscle is the tibialis anterior. So that will look like so. Its origin point is the lateral condyli of the tibia, and then its insertion point is the underside of the medial cuneiform bone and the first metatarsal. So it will look like so. It'll attach right there, and then down here. So the actions of these muscles. The masseter's primary action, is the elevation of the mandible, closing the mouth. The triceps brachii main action is extension of the forearm. The biceps brachii, its main action, it supinates the forearm and then flexes the forearm. The brachioradialis is responsible for flexion of the elbow. Rectus femoris extends the knee and flexes the hip. The semimembranosus, it extends the thigh and flexes the knee. The biceps femoris flexes the leg at the knee and rotates laterally. The soleus is responsible for plantar flexion, and then the gastrocnemius is also responsible for plantar flexion at the ankle. The tibialis anterior dorsiflexes the foot, and that was the last one. So antagonist and agonist muscles. An agonist performs an action, and the antagonist has the potential to oppose the action. The antagonist of elbow flexion would be the triceps, and then the agonist for knee extension would be the rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, the vastus medialis, the vastus intermedius. And the antagonist for knee extension would be the semimembranosus, the semitendinosus, and the bicep femoris. And that is everything.